Hello, everyone. Here we
Hey,
are.
look who is back!
I know. Finally returned from Panama.
I know.
Super cool place. I actually think that if you were to go there, it reminded me of like Way of the Water Avatar.
Yeah.
That was exactly what Bocas was like. So, anyways, we are doing the hurricane today, and we are talking about the Calgary Real Estate Forecast. So that's huge news for us in our industry.
It's gonna be a huge topic. So we're gonna start with a really big drink.
Exactly, massive drink, a hurricane.
Yes, not that it's foreshadowing a forecast, but we didn't know it was gonna be up or down, and it's positive, so it's gonna be a good, tasty drink.
Just like a hurricane, there's lots of unknowns.
That's right, exactly.
All right. So let's get started. And we're doing a drink called the Hurricane, which is actually kind of a cool drink. I'll be honest, I drank a lot of hurricanes wandering down Bourbon Street on New Orleans Ave. And you got to be really careful with hurricanes because there is a lot of alcohol in them. And you got to pace yourself because too many hurricanes too fast can make the end of Bourbon Street a blur.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, as you can see, we started with the 4 ounces of rum, 2 of the light and 2 of the dark.
That's right.
So it's like you couldn't decide. Oh, was it just an ounce here? I thought it was like 2 ounces.
2 ounces. That's 1 ounce.
Okay, well, I was trying to save you. No, there is your dark rum right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I started being very organized while Robin is away. I started being super organized on my
Anna's always organized.
mixology.
Give herself enough credit.
Mixology.
Okay, an ounce of orange juice.
All right.
And
then we've got lime juice.
Actually, sorry, an ounce of orange juice.
Yes.
That's a half ounce there. Now I got an ounce. And then a half ounce of simple syrup.
And we actually using agave. So I personally prefer it. So kind of, and if you guys don't love the sugar.
Now passion fruit puree.
Yes.
If you can't find it, I just actually went and got a bunch of passion fruits, put them into a blender and pureed them.
Yeah, so we're gonna try it out and let you know how that goes.
It'll be fun. And then 1 ounce of lime juice.
Okay.
And 1 teaspoon.
Oh, I'll give you a tablespoon.
Of grenadine.
Yeah.
Just enough for show.
That's right. It's just for the coloring, really.
Exactly. Now, oh my gosh, you get someone to shake with.
Oh my God. I actually had no shaking. No shaking in drinks. Woo! Let's go, Robin. 2026.
All right, so here we go. And we
almost lost my mic.
Put it into our nice hurricane glass. Sorry. Hurricane glass.
Robin comes like a hurricane as well.
Right. Always uncertain, but lots of action.
All right. And we made a cool garnish. Orange with a cherry.
That's right. Into the glass.
Scared. Okay, I'm gonna grab my
and then
ready.
So if you ever go to Bourbon Street, hurricanes are offered by everyone going up and down Bourbon Street. Lots of fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.
They look so pretty.
They're very tasty, but
very boozy. Wow. Whew. What mix mine a lot.
And you know what? And that's the thing. Is they're strong. It's 4 ounces of alcohol. Obviously, it's a lot of alcohol. So you got to take that into account when you're drinking them. Definitely something to sit outside, have a patio drink, stuff like that. Lots of fun that way. But
you know what? I usually not a big, huge fruity type drink like that. And I've done a hurricane before at the restaurants, usually down south. This one I like the most.
Really? Why is that?
I think it's because it's a less sweet, less fake sugar, because a lot of that stuff is like already prepped in a bottle and very syrupy. And I think because of that lime juice and that we didn't use the syrup, like actually made it a little bit more toned down on that.
So if it, and I
Mm.
agree with you, it's not sweet at all, which is it's
Yeah.
nice because I would agree on Bourbon Street they do it in a slushy,
Mm.
and it's like you're sipping sugar.
Like you're
So
drinking grenadine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now this one though, the only thing I
Mm.
would say is if I was to make it again, I would probably go 1 ounce and 1 ounce instead of 2 ounces and 2 ounces
Yeah.
because it is pretty boost forward.
It is. I also would suggest going with a spice rum would be nice.
Ooh, a spice rum would be
Yeah,
cool.
because we will like really like she has like a 6 different bottles of spice rum. And I was like, oh, that would be good. But the recipe obviously we try to stick with it.
Yeah.
But I think the spice rum would be a good option instead of dark rum.
So, and the reason we have so much spiced rum is because my husband drinks his favorite alcohols are spiced rum and bourbon. So he gets a lot gifted to him as spiced rum and bourbon. So
Yes.
that's why we see so much in my
Nothing
amazing
wrong with
family.
that. Yeah, no, but this is quite delicious. Like good for like a patio weather. Hopefully it's coming soon.
Yes, exactly.
Mm. Oh, that's me reading. Sorry.
That's okay. Anna's
Well,
thing is vibrating and making noise over
yeah,
there.
which will never happen.
Sweet.
Wow, the hurricane is
All
like
right.
hitting it right spot. Anyway, let's talk about forecast. Yesterday it was a really great a meeting, a great information, lots of great stats. And I mean, did we hear anything new that we did not expect?
I don't think so.
Is it you now?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody's really trying to reach both of us now.
They'll call Charlene next.
Yeah, Charlene, expect the call. But so nothing new, but I like how the visual information has arrived, right? So let's recap of the 2025. Like what actually happened in 2025? Because there's a lot of because we kind of were just rolling with it, right? So at the end of the year, we had a very positive 2025, but it was slower than expected. We have a graph for it. So we had less sales, and less sales contributed to that we had quite lots of uncertainty in the spring with the elections
Can we
going on.
quantify when we say we had less sales? We
Yes.
had less sales than were forecasted. So they
Yes.
forecasted 26,000 is the number of sales we would make throughout the year.
Yeah.
And we only ended up having 22,000. So our forecast was off by about 4,000 sales.
I mean, really, is that such a huge differential? Like, I don't think so.
So it does mean that
maybe a couple like realtors were on the holidays.
Yeah. That
But
means that we were barely off what we expected, but we were
Yeah.
lower than we expected.
Exactly. And so again, the sales was strong in my eyes, less than expected, forecasted in January 2025, but still up there and historically quite high. We have so the what contributed to less of sales, uncertainty, political, economical, like globally, I would say, not just locally. Of course, the interest rates, people expected one thing, they went down, but not probably as much as people expected. And migration slowed down. We had tons of immigration in early years, like hundreds and thousands of people were arriving to Alberta and Calgary, and that was lesser.
Yeah, our interprovincial migration eased off. And it's interesting when you look at it year over year, is we had some pretty rapid growth of interprovincial migration. We had forecasted, or we had thought that, last year we had 73,000. We're forecasting this year to only have 39,000. So say 50% of the interprovincial migration that we had years before. And then if the interprovincial migration, we have to consider what is international migration and interprovincial migration. And that actually does make a difference. And the reason that makes a difference is because people who are international immigrants, so people coming from other countries, are more likely to rent for the first 3 years, where interprovincial migration is more likely to purchase.
Yeah, and going quickly to 2025 slide. So it's basically the sales were down, but the price was not. It still, even though we didn't meet the goals of 2025 forecast for the price gains in Calgary, it still was up. And you can see those numbers on the screen. So the price for in all sectors of real estate went up last year.
But here's a big thing that comes up a lot is that people always talk about Canada markets as a whole, and you can't because we're so drastically different from Vancouver and Toronto. So how we compared to Vancouver and Toronto and Edmonton. Edmonton did beat us, sorry to say.
Oh, it's
Calgary
about
lovers.
time.
Yeah, they've been lagging behind us for so
Yeah.
long. But Toronto and Vancouver had been seeing massive growth long before we were. So we didn't see as big of falls as Vancouver and Toronto did, but we still were not horrible year over year. We're seeing that 1% growth. It wasn't horrible, but certainly not as bad. Now, condos obviously did suffer a little bit more. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that when they build supply for condos, they build it en masse where houses get built one by one. So it's easy to oversupply a condo market because of that massive supply, not to include that rental options have really, really grown our rental market. So that's giving people more options on where to live. So increasing that supply in the rental market has eased off demand in the purchasing market.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna see in 2026. That the condo market we're gonna continue to soften, just because of new inventory entering. That is new build and people putting new supply on the market as well. So we're definitely gonna see condo market soften, and with that also we're gonna see a lot of rise of vacancy rates, just because we have a lot of kind of a multifamily rental specific buildings being finished
We do,
building.
yeah.
So we're gonna be
Purpose
yeah,
built.
purpose built. That's what the word I was
Yeah,
looking for.
purpose built.
Rental purpose built. So we're gonna see a lot of that, like as a rental market have more vacancies, the rental prices will soften, and more supply will create softer prices and softer rentals
Well,
prices
and
in the
the
market.
sales are going to slow, but we're going to remain above the trend, and that's kind of the fun thing to keep in mind is we're
Yeah,
still going to do better than everybody else. We still have that advantage here in Calgary.
I
So
think that's, what, you just brought a good point. Remember when people talking about statistics, are they comparing to the last year the same time, or they comparing to the last month, or they comparing to the trend, like, in terms of what has been happening historically over the years?
well, and what's really interesting about this is that we're going to have stronger than expected job growth. Now, that's actually really, really good for us because it means people are still getting jobs. It's going to be stronger than what's expected. Because the big thing that they said, and this actually came up in our question and answer period, is that it's being said that Canadians have 175% of debt versus income. And that's obviously a concern. And they said it's not a concern right now as long as we continue to see gains in jobs. If we see suddenly a massive layoffs, that's when that's going to become a problem. But for right now, we're doing okay. And unless we see something happen that causes a significant turn in jobs in Alberta, because remember, if Ottawa or Ontario loses a bunch of jobs, that's not going to affect us. But when you look at where the actual jobs are coming from, this is the interesting part where we've seen them go down in 2025 and where they're expected to go up. And one thing that the economist said is she said the fact that they came out of primary and utilities in 2025, she was concerned is that's where we had job loss. But then if you look, it's just coming right back in 2026. So she says that was actually a really, really good sign. So if you're looking right now, transportation and warehousing, healthcare and social assistance, accommodations and food, and then primary and utilities are where we're going to see the job growth. And we are expected to see it be stronger than expected, but we are expecting the manufacturing sector to struggle. That is not everyone's going to win. That's not how life goes. Not everyone's going to win, but some people are going to win, and some people are unfortunately not going to have a strong and there. But rates, they also said the interest rates actually was a really big deal too, as they said that no further rate cuts are expected. So basically, they expect this year to be pretty flat with interest rates, which is interesting because the markets are always, and a lot of people don't realize this, but the markets are actually slower when rates are coming down
Yeah,
than when rates are going up. When rates are going up,
it's
everyone's
a mystery.
yeah, well, it's because everyone's jumping into the market wanting to use their protected rate before they can't anymore, and they don't want to go with the higher rate. So when they're going down, everyone's waiting to see how low they're going to go before they buy and see
Yeah,
how much buying power they're going to get. But when they start going up, everyone doesn't want to lose on that great rate that they have. So this year is expected to be flat. They're not expecting rate growth. They're not
right.
expecting rate cuts.
And not cuts, yeah.
Yeah,
So not up or down. And to be honest, like even with the last week, I've done like 2 or 3 listing presentations right now for some of new clients. And when you look at how the like, because you kind of look at the statistics, like where are we coming from, what's going to be happening, and with the rates, it's just like we really sitting right in that balanced market right now.
we are.
We like no, it's not the sellers, that is not the buyers. Although that said, there are pockets of Calgary will do better than others.
100%.
And it all depends on where your home is located, what community, and how much just inventory your community have. And there are those pockets that will probably outperform most of the Calgary forecast.
I think if we could give a name to 2026, it's going to be Steady Eddie.
Oh,
It's
steady.
Steady Eddie. It's not going to be soaring. It's not going to
Mm.
be huge growth. It's going to be Steady Eddie. That's
Yes.
all it's going to be. It's going to be a Steady Eddie year.
And we already seen that like days on the market has increased for majority of Calgary's between that. I don't know if we have the DOM for Calgary, but you are looking between like that 30 to 60 days on the market, depending on what you're selling and the community that you are located in. And I want to go like, let's throw some slides for prices. Calgary average price by quadrant. Yeah. Oh, that's by that's not quadrant.
Yeah.
That's by surrounding areas, which is like let's leave that. Let's leave that.
No, here's
Oh, that's quadrant. That's a forecast for price growth for 2026. So for overall year, we basically seen 0.1% growth for detached homes, just to point that out. And you can see that the like what is it, the was it the green areas, no
the north and the
yeah,
northeast are the ones that had the lowest amount of growth. Was the north and the
yeah,
northeast.
just because of the inventory there's
Because
so
they have
much.
new home construction, and the new
Yes.
home construction is adding to the inventory.
Yeah.
Where we don't have as much new home construction in the northwest, the west, the south. The southeast does have a lot of new home construction, but just not as much. East is being blocked in by Chestermere, and then the west is being blocked in by the Indigenous Reserve. So we've got that those are kind of hindered in, and then city center obviously was quite strong because it's blocked in by everybody.
That's right. We're gonna see, and again, the whole slowdown of a semi-detached product, which I found very interesting from the conference, that more people. I think what happened is that because the builders were building semi-detached in our city for so long, and then a lot of people were preferring because semi-detached got the price of pretty much detached home. A lot of people was like, well, if I can afford detached home, might as well go into detached home because like if I spend 2 million on detached or semi-detached, they always would pick detached. And I think a lot of builders went away from the semi-detached product, started building detached single homes or the rows. And we can see, so row is your basically townhouse product. We see a huge increase in that, and they will also gonna be a softer market just because of the inventory they're entering. Let's go to surrounding areas as well right now. Yes. So that's one of my favorite because I do live in Chestermere. We do have a lot of clients in Cochrane and Airdrie and Okotoks. So it's kind of that market we always kind of like look after. What I found interesting from the conference that Airdrie marker was very close to the new northwest of Calgary because the prices were pretty much about the same time, like same thing. Like you get the same similar home for the similar price because of the locations are so getting so close together.
Yeah, but when
Yeah.
you look here, actually, so Okotoks had a rise, exterior rocky view, so acreages, which isn't surprising with COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people wanting to get out of like densified centers. But Strathmore and High River had the biggest increases at 2.9. I think that has to do with affordability. It has to.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, that's. I mean, somebody who like again kind of lives towards the Strathmore. It's. I mean, Chestermere average price for single family home is higher than Calgary. But again, you have to remember it's a bigger home, it's bigger lots, triple garage kind of thing. So it's not exactly the same homes that they build in Calgary. And Strathmore is like what, 10-15 minutes away, and with a lot of amenities. They have a great commercial development there. They can serve the public from everything that you need.
Yeah.
And they have schools and the pool. There's a lot of great amenities for the family. So if you don't need to drive to Calgary, or if you do, like seriously, that highway gets cleaned like from snow, like before the Calgary even, because it's a rocky view part, right? So
Yeah.
it's just kind of how it's done.
Now,
So
here's the
yeah,
one big thing that actually I think we've got to do and then talk about
yes,
and then close.
sure, let's do it.
Is that
There's a lot.
there is a lot, but the
Yeah.
high density supply is going to be above trend. And with the actually, sorry, there's two things I'm going to talk about.
Good.
The high density supply, so condos and row housing,
Yes.
is not going to see growth this year. And unfortunately, they saw decreases last year. So you have to keep that into consideration. Unfortunately, if you have apartments, if you have row housing, I'm so sorry. Your high density, because we build it en masse, is going, and because they've been building purpose built rentals, you're not going to see growth. And you did see decreases last year, and you're probably going to see another decrease this year. So it's going to be a product you got to hold on to a little bit longer if you want to get out with those positive gains. But this is a big one, actually, that I think is huge for people is risk. And I'm always a big thing on risk. We have to talk about what are your risks going into 2026. So the upside on our risks, believe it or not, whether you believe in it or not, the MOU. And it's not just about the pipeline, it's about emission cap removal, it's about the clean electricity regulation exemption, and that investment could come sooner than expected. The downsides and the uncertainty of our risk is weaker commodity prices, renegotiating customer. That could go either way. It's unfortunate that it's not predictable, but we got to hope that it goes good. And if it goes good, then we can do really, really well. But if it doesn't, then we've got another thing we're playing with. So, and then obviously supply growth. So those are our big risks going into 2026. And you have to know that going into 2026. It's not about making the right investment choice. It's about when you make that investment choice, knowing the risks, taking that into account, and then doing what you can do that's the best for you at the time.
I mean, listen, we live in Alberta. There is no risks, right? So
there's always risk.
There's always risk. But again, I just wanted to remind, we're not talking about this is on a national level.
Yeah.
Alberta has its own market that is very influences pretty much consumer confidence. If our consumer confidence stays on top, then all the markets will outperform themselves. And it really doesn't matter what happens on a national or global level. It all depends how the province performs on its own. And it's kind of a really cool thing to say, but somebody who've done real estate for 27 years, 20 years, yeah, 20 years for me this year.
I like calculating.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah. So in June will be 20 years. But like we've seen up and down, and we've seen like how Alberta is just really kind of like cultivates its own economic and stability.
So I will say one thing, and born and raised Albertan, but one thing I love about Albertan is the get her done attitude. I love the get her done attitude. I love how
get it done.
Get her done.
Get it done. Okay.
Get her done.
Oh, get
different.
Okay. I thought you said something else.
No, get it done is different than get her done.
That's fine.
It's a get her done.
Yeah, get her done. There you go.
So I love the get her done attitude. That's the Alberta way. Problems happen. We step up. We make it happen. And I do think that kind of mentality and that attitude is why Alberta has been as strong as it has, because we're get her done. So
yeah, let's do the closing. So we're gonna do the closing remarks now. And if you guys have any questions in terms of how this new forecast that we just learned will affect your home value or condo value and your real estate goals, you just let us know.
Also, too, is if you want to know what your house value is compared to your city assessment, call us, because I can tell you I've been talking to a lot of our clients, and all of their city assessments are too high. A lot of the city, and I understand that it's value based in July and condition based in December, but I am telling you, I've had a few clients I've chatted with, especially the condo people, and their city assessments are way too high. Like by 60-30 is like $60,000 too high, which
you can actually fight.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so gifts. Today. Yes. We are giving away
we have 6 glasses. There you go. So it's gonna be you and 5 friends. If you get like a good scotch or because it's like a sniffer glass, right? So,
it is.
Yeah. like bourbon, whatever you want to drink straight. This is fantastic for you and your few friends. Maybe you gotta invite us. I don't know, like right?
We can be your friend.
Yeah, we can. We definitely we friendly enough.
And we
Yeah.
drink.
And we drink,
Obviously.
obviously. So this is the prize you're gonna get first week of February. And the way you do it is by liking, loving our show on all social media platforms. Tag your friends and family. Even
Get
if you,
extra entries into if you tag
yeah,
your friends and family.
yeah, especially if you like cocktail. I don't know, whatever. If you suggest a topic and a drink for our season 7, you get also double entry into the draw. And yeah, so
All right.
keep playing till end of the month, and the first week of February we're gonna pull the name.
So next week we're going old school with a
We're
vodka
going to back to 21.
Exactly. We're going old school with a vodka
Yeah.
paralyzer.
Yeah, oh my God.
And we're talking about perfection paralysis when it comes to meeting your real estate dreams. Which again, you'd be amazed how many favorite topics I have. But perfection paralysis is
Just
a
getting
big.
too excited.
I know it's a
The
big
hurricane
topic
coming.
because we can't be
Yeah.
perfect, but we're going to talk about that. Why perfection is not the answer, and we're going to teach you how to get past it.
Yes, and working obviously with a great team of realtors who happen to be top 5 for 2025, 3 Max Realty professionals, which is yay! Yes, 3 girls beat a whole bunch of other dudes.
Dudes. We beat lots of people, men
Yes.
and women.
Yes, but yes, you guys just contact us and we'll talk about our favorite topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Have a
Thanks.
great week. I hope it doesn't get too cold. It's not hot like Panama, I'm just saying.
Oh my God, I just don't even check the temperature. When it's like I'm stop wearing clothes, that's when it gets
Yeah.
warm enough.
All right.
So maybe if I'm in a bikini in the show.
Remember, have your friends, family, coworkers,
Yes.
everyone you know, call us. We will give them the right advice. And actually, super quick, it was funny because right before I left to Panama, I had this nice couple that have known me for a long time, and they called me over to tell them the value on their home. And I sat down with them and I gave them their options, but I gave them all their options, even the ones that didn't benefit me, which is what Anna and I do all the time. And they laughed and they said, well, if we go that way, you won't make any money. I said, I agree with you, but it is an option.
That's
So
right.
we're going to give you all the information, not just the information that benefits us. So please give us a call and encourage your friends and family to do so.
Exactly.
All right.
Thanks for watching, you guys.
Bye.